Evening Candlelight. Here to God willing record today's Chumash with Rashi for the fifth portion of Rashi Vayeishev. As always, learning to bind ourselves to God, you pledge to get a haste and redemption. Yesterday, the brothers. Oh no, yesterday wasn't the brothers. Yesterday was the story of Yehuda. It was an interruption of the story of Yosef and the brothers. Yehuda was lowered in their esteem, went off, married, had children. Whole story with Tamar. She gave birth to the twins, from which King David comes, and thereby Mashiach comes. Alright, moving back to the Yosef story today. Chapter 39, verse 1. Parak Lamed Tes, Pasuk Aleph. Learning to bind the souls of God, pledge of God, race and redemption. What do you call an alligator and a vest? He's an investigator. Aleph, Yosef, Hord Mitzrayim. Yosef went down to Egypt, Vikneu, Potiphar, and he was acquired by Potiphar. He acquired Yosef as a slave. Sarim Paro, who was a minister of Paro. Sartabachim, the chief butchering officer. Ish Mitzri, he was an Egyptian. Miyad Ishmaelim from the Arabs, from the Ishmaelim. Asher Yidu Shama, who brought him down there. This talks back to earlier. Who really brought him was the Ishmaelim and the Medianim. I explained the Ishmaelim sold him to the Medianim or the Medanim, and didn't make sense to them, to Potiphar, that a black man was selling a white man, so he wanted he forced them to get the Ishmaelim as guarantors that Yosef really was, God forbid, a slave. Alright, Aleph, Rashi, Yosef, Hured, Hosel Rishon. Now we went back to the original topic. Yehuda, Yosef, but interrupted to tell you that the whole idea of Yehuda going down his brother's eyes had to do with the sale of Yosef. So that was the whole problem. In addition to length, what we're going to, God willing, learn about Potiphar's wife. Potiphar's the one buying Yosef now, the Egyptian man, and about his wife, that she has eyes for Yosef, and she's she tries to seduce him in every possible way, and then she's tough and she has him thrown in prison, and it's very difficult. But also we wanted to list her actions next to the actions of Tamar. Tamar was a super holy lady, but she had to end up posing as a harlot to take care of business. So, to some degree, we're going to say this lady, this mean lady, this evil lady, I'm going to call her evil. The evil lady, Potiphar's wife, also had heavenly intent. Let's see how that works. Both heavenly. How is it heavenly? Seems like she's being pretty tough on him. Astrology, and her astrologers told her that she was destined to bear children from him. So she's understood it was in the stars. A Jew is beyond the stars. We need only God, and we need to rely on only God. And Jew is above Mazel. And she now. But she doesn't know if it was from her or her daughter. So she had good intent. Base Vihi Hashem es Yosef, and Hashem was with Yosef. Vihi Ish Matzlik, and he was very successful. He was based Adonav Mitzri when he was in the house of his Egyptian master. Gimel V'yar Adonav, and his master saw Ki Hashem Yito, because Hashem was with him. Kol Asher Hu also Hashem Slik V'yado, and that everything Yosef touched, Hashem turned to gold. Rashi Ki Hashem Yito Shem Shemayim Sugur Piv. What does it mean that Hashem was always with him? That he always had the name of heaven on his mouth. So he's talking about God, thank God, how great God is. I don't know exactly what he said. I'm making that up, but thank God, how great is God. These type of things make sense to me. Pazik Dalav Yimsa Yosef Chayin Ve'enav, and Yosef found favor in the master's eyes. Vishar Soiso, and he served him personally. Vikdeu Abeso, he appointed him over his entire house. V'kol Asher Lo Nasam Yado, gave him the run of the realm. Kol Yesh Lo Hari Lo Shin Katsar Chaser Asher. Left out the word Asher. Pazik Hey Vayihi. And it was from then on that he put him in charge of the whole house and everything he had. Hashem as base of Israel, Hashem blessed the house of this Egyptian man, Magal Yosef, on Yosef's account. Hashem blessed everything that Hashem blessed, and Hashem's blessing was on everything this Egyptian man owned in his house in the field. Vav V'yazav kol asher lo, and he abandoned everything he had. V'yad Yosef into Yosef's hand. Yosef did everything. V'lo yad ito ma'uma. He didn't have to bother with a thing. Kiyim alechem. He just had to eat. Asher ochel v'hi Yosef yafetor, and Yosef was beautiful v'yafimara, and had a good complexion, well formed and refined. Yosef had the run of the place. All Potiphar had to do was eat. Rashi He had his head free, his heart free. He trusted Joseph. Joseph was in charge. Rashi gave him a lechem with the bread. He eats to the bread here. You think it was meaning a person can't eat for another person, or maybe Jews are connected enough one could eat for another. It's an interesting thought. But here, the bread, Rashi explains, means his wife. As it's just speaking in a clean way. So Yosef was not involved with this man's wife, although we learned earlier she was up to all kind of tricks, trying to make that happen. But he didn't let it happen, and interesting, he's trying to get into flip tricks. So that was that. And yeah, so the only thing the man had to worry about was his eating, or the Torah speaking euphemistically, he had to worry about his wife. Or he abandoned everything into the hand of Yosef, and he didn't have to worry about anything. He just worried about his wife. All right, but Yosef Yafatayr, and Yosef was beautiful. Kevin Shira Atzma Moshe, since he saw himself in a position of leadership, he did all of shows himself. So sorry, he started to eat and drink and curl his hair. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu, so Hashem said, Avicha Misabu, your father's in mourning, God forbid, V'atim Asals V'Sorecha, and you're playing with your hair. And Megaracha Esadov Miyad. So Hashem says, I'm going to arouse the bear against you. Who is the bear? The bear is Potiphar's wife. This Rashi continues, but it's actually in tomorrow's portion. So we'll see it. We're going to see in the God willing Bli Neder tomorrow in the very next verse that it's going to be that she cast her eyes on him. And when it says Acher means soon after. So the chief butcher bought Yosef. He saw God was with him because he was always talking about God. Put Yosef in charge of everything. This portion juxtaposed the other portion to let you know why Yehuda went down his brother's Asim, let you know this woman had heavenly intent. Astrologers had told her. He gave Yosef everything, except for, obviously kept his wife for himself. And Yosef got a little too excited about his appearance, so Hashem set the bear on him. Alright, share it now.